Hey, what's going on, everyone? How y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. My God, I kind of talk like Kevin Smith because I spent like a couple hours watching him live last night. That's right, folks, kids, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls. Uh, no, my name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome back to $3 Theater. I'm still pretty giddy. Not gonna lie. I was gonna record this review when I got home last night, but it was a very long day, complete with me getting into a collision with a deer, almost totaling my car before traveling to Seattle to go and watch the Dogma Resurrection Tour, the 25th or 26th anniversary of the film. Although, I mean, it's only a few months past the 25th release, so I think it's fine to call it that. But this is a movie. I just want to start off by giving you guys a history of how I first encountered this film. So back in around, I want to say June of 1999, before the end of my junior year of high school, I happened to be hanging out in the school library surfing IGN of all places. And they'd made mention of the Dogma script getting leaked online, the fourth film in the Kevin Smith View Askewniverse universe. And I, like a moron, I can't say that. I, like a fan, decided to click on it, and I read the screenplay from the school library on a website called scriptorama.com, and I laughed my ass off. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I was a person at that time that had lost my faith. And the film kind of spoke to me on that front a little bit. I mean, it's been a long time, 26 years. And I still don't have my faith, but I have a greater, deeper appreciation for what this movie is trying to say now that I'm older and I understand it more. The time I was 17, I had been cast out of my own church for BS reasons. Lies perpetrated by a person upset because I didn't acquiesce to their very, very inappropriate request, but that's a whole other thing. So anyway, I read this script, I laughed my ass off, talked about it to my friends, and then when the movie finally opened in theaters, my friends and I skipped out of school early, and we went and saw the first showing of the film. And it was everything I wanted it to be, with the exception of a few things missing that I had read in the original screenplay. Things like the hot shit joke from Azrael. It's in the deleted scenes, but it's not in the movie. And it was noticeably absent. And even rewatching the film last night, yeah, that part was noticeably absent. And there's always been this thing, because when the DVD came out, special edition 2-disc, it was, it was it promoted 100 minutes of extra footage, deleted scenes. And there was something that came out around that time. It was more of a fan conversation. I think there was a report I read somewhere that had said that the original cut of the movie was 3 hours and 16 minutes. And obviously, given the religious context, John 3:16, right? There was a rumored, fabled 3:16 cut. And I've been hearing about this. I'd heard about this, but it's been in the back of my brain for over 2 damn ass decades. 2.5 damn ass decades. So last night I was determined to ask the question about that because I want to know. You go and you get the special edition and you get the deleted scenes, and the deleted scenes are what was in the original script that I read, the original idea for the movie that I had in my head. I wanted to see it, and I thought he might put it back together. He does not want to, and that's okay. I asked him about that last night. He said that the original cut of the film was 4 hours. And then he did whittle it down to 3 hours and some change. That might be where the 3:16 cut comes from. But then he got it down more and more and more and more to what we got theatrically. And to him, that's the director's cut. Now, there might be some fan edits that are out there, people compiling it all back together. And I might have to seek one of those out and give it a watch to see if it works. Now, truth be told, I don't want to poo-poo or besmirch on what Kevin has put together. Dogma is now more relevant and poignant to me as a 43-year-old versus a 17-year-old. It's a half a generation feels like a difference. A whole other life ago, multiple lives ago. But things about that movie resonate with me more now that I'm older. I have the perspective, have the experience, not being as jaded as I once was when I was a teenager who had gone through a spiritual de-awakening, if you will, and feeling kind of like Bethany felt at the time. Because I think like when I first saw the movie, I was more like Jay and Silent Bob, Snoochie Boochie's motherfucker, right? Like that was a big thing. Now that I'm older, like Bethany, I identify with a lot more. But the way Kevin described it is that this wasn't a movie that was mocking faith, it was celebrating it. And if you really think about it, at the end of the day, it is that. It is a story about people wanting to go home, wanting to find purpose, wanting to find reason. The grander scheme of things, God's design. Life is good. Don't mourn your faith, celebrate it, right? It would make sense. You know what I mean? It makes sense, like more so now. Not that I'm saying I'm going to pick up a Bible and go back to I get how it happened. But I get it now. I get it a lot more. I understand it a bit more. And maybe if that mindset permeated a bit more, we would actually be better off as people. I don't know. Celebrating things rather than mourning things. And if you look at like the current state of pop culture, man, it's all mourning shit. Right? People aren't excited about this stuff anymore, man. They're angry about it, you know? I don't know. I prefer to be happy. And last night made me happy. I got to finally ask the question I've been sitting on for 2.5 decades. And he was really cordial about it too. I had other questions. I mean, we all had questions. There's always questions. Kevin Smith is, I'll just say it. He's my personal fucking hero. I've been a fan since 97. I'll talk more about that in the future video, I think. And I'd love to sit down with the guy and just have a coffee. He doesn't drink coffee, but I drink Rockstars, whatever, right? Drink some caffeine, a tasty libation, and like just have a conversation. But let me get back to the movie. So first, let me talk about the 4K upscale. Is it worth it? Not really. To be honest with you, a movie like this doesn't necessarily need a 4K upscale. It looked good, but I didn't really feel like I was watching a 4K restoration. I felt like I was just watching the old scratchy, well, there's no scratches, but the old 35 millimeter print. And that's fine with me. Not every movie needs a 4K upscale. Every movie needs a physical media release and the ability to get all that stuff, absolutely. But for me, I saw it with a friend of mine that I've known for a long time. We see movies together whenever we can. He hadn't seen this movie in 20 years. As I was walking around the mall, waiting for the movie to start, I ran into another friend of mine who I knew in San Diego. I know his whole family. They were some of the first people I met when I moved to San Diego. He had moved to Washington a couple years ago. I just didn't know where. And we ran into each other last night. And you guys got to understand is that, we always went to San Diego Comic-Con together. That was our big thing every year. We'd go see Kevin Smith together. And in this random, I don't know, thing, we get to go and run into each other and get to have that experience again. That was great, man. You know what I mean? Like that was great. I love San Diego. I miss my time in San Diego. I miss my connection to San Diego. And then Kevin Smith has always been a big part of my life in San Diego, especially with Comic-Con. And getting that connection again only made last night even more special. For whatever brief moments it was. It was nice and cathartic and I needed it. And it only made the movie experience better for me. Because yeah, it still lands. Alan Rickman is still wonderfully fantastic. Linda Fiorentino was really able to capture a lot of the internal conflict of Bethany just through her eyes. You can just watch her like struggle with the weight of what's being asked of her, the pressure of it, and trying to do what she needs to do despite her not wanting to do it. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, great performances. Matt Damon was awesome. Affleck, got to go in and do the Affleck stuff, but he did it so well. George Carlin, man. Fucking Carlin was just perfect, and then Kevin told us some stories about how Carlin got involved, how Rickman got involved, how Alanis Morissette got involved, and it only made the lore deeper, and it made the lore richer, and it made the lore awesome. things I didn't know about this movie that I am so happy that I do. Because it only adds those layers to why a movie like this is great. To me, personally. You know, and I really got to give credit to Jason Mewes. You know, Mewes has gone through so much in his life in regards to addiction and everything else. But this was, I want to say this was him at his peak. Like, you could argue that he was really kind of like the heart of the movie, him and Silent Bob. But I mean, like, Silent Bob was there, you know, and he was like the sturdy one, right? But Jay was, you know, Jay was the guy. This is as much a Jay movie as it is a, you know, Bartleby, Loki, Bethany movie, right? Like, he really gave an excellent performance, and Jay is great. And I don't, you know, and I'll always kind of maybe downplay that a little bit, but no, man, this is like his peak. I can watch this movie repeatedly, endlessly, and enjoy it for everything that it is. Yeah, it's got flaws, man. Right? It's got some stuff that you can see got cut out. And I was talking about that again, but that extended stuff, but it works. It speaks about faith. It speaks about the lack thereof. Beliefs over ideas, you know, and I still use that line when I talk with people about politics. I talk with them about that and I say things like, you know, these people believe things and it's hard to change a belief. So it's better to have ideas and opinions. You can change those. But the beliefs are hard, so you got to reframe the argument, you know? And I use that line frequently. That idea, that train of thought pretty goddamn frequently. And that came from that movie. Like I said, man, Kevin's my personal fucking hero, dude. And last night only solidified that further. I'd love to get to know the guy. I know it's never going to happen, but man, I always look forward to those times. The movie's great. Go watch it. Go see it on the big screen June 5th. If you can't get to the Resurrection Tour, $50 well spent. He went on for like 2 hours in the Q&A. You know what I mean? Like we didn't leave. We got there about 7 p.m. We didn't leave until about midnight. All right. Like, that's how long that was worth the investment. So if you get the opportunity, go and do it. But if not, go see the movie in theaters June 5th. Buy the 4K Steelbook. I have an article about it on hwad.tv, hwad.tv, talking about the 4K Steelbook, what he told us. If you want to go check that out. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for watching. My name is Matt, and peace out.